everybody wants to be a full-time trader. Everybody wants to be a entrepreneur and be their own boss. But they have to keep in mind that it's not only to be their own boss. It's only being your own secretary, being your own accountable, being your own legal person, being your own everything. So maybe it hurts to hear this, but some people, they need a boss. They cannot be their own boss. Why? Because of course you can have the freedom of not having to follow the instructions of a higher level telling you what to do, but that only helps when you are disciplined enough to think, okay, I have the freedom, I can do whatever I want, still I decide to do what it needs to be done. So it's not an easy journey, and it's a big self-recognition, internally. You have to recognize yourself and really evaluate and say, okay, am I really ready to not have a safety net behind me, not have anybody that says what I need to do, and still perform at the same level? If the answer is no, then you need a job. You need a boss, and it's completely right. But if you think that you're gonna stay disciplined and it's not an easy journey. But long story short, it's completely not an easy journey. I think that everybody that could watch social media of a person like me or like you, everybody will say will quickly change lives, but I will highly recommend people not to change lives with me, because it is a highly stressful environment. It's a never-ending solving problems situation. So some of the people that may have listened, that you are listening, maybe you are like me and you really want to pass through this hard journey, because it's gonna make your character and it's gonna really forge you as a man and as an entrepreneur. But those who just want the freedom and the social media status and the money, being young, they're completely off. So,
on the show, I've had people that have reached wealth, and I've heard it online too, that the wealthier you get, the more desirable it becomes on social media. And as you mentioned, people will want to have your life from what they see online, but behind the scenes, you would say you wouldn't recommend the swap. But I'm sure there's a point where things were getting better and you were getting happier and happier, and then it got more stressful, even though the money went up the whole way. What is that sweet point where you have the freedom without the stress that you later on incur as you get more and more into the entrepreneur and trading space?
Yeah, this is very important to consider. And you have to, the younger you are, of course, the better. That doesn't mean that if you are older than me and older than Waqar, you cannot compare it to other people to frustrate yourself. You have to compare it only to motivate yourself. But let's say from the 20s and 30s, from 20 to 30, those are the building years, or 25, 35, those are the building years. So I will not evaluate my life based on happiness or how happy I am, or the less stressful that I'm, the better. So I will not say it's a bad thing. I will say in those years, try to grow as much as possible, to have a life that every day you have to solve a new problem, and every day you have to outcome and overcome all the problems here. Because if you have an easy life, then what's the point of living, right? So I would say I truly believe that people value too much happiness. I value more productivity. I value more goals, discipline, values, not as much as happiness, because happiness, being happy is just so, it's a fugazi. You can be happy one day, next day you are, and those are moments. But you cannot measure happiness in and of itself. But you can measure goals, you can measure discipline, you can measure habits. So I'll say to all the people in their 20s right now, focus on what you can control, focus on your habits. Don't really care about if what you're doing, it's making you happy right now, as long as you are giving your best and you are being as productive, as much productive as you want.
This comment that you've just mentioned, I've heard it my whole life, of like, But it's always been when I was less, and I'm hearing people that are above me, and they're always like, you know,
You have to do what makes you
go
happy.
for fulfillment, go for purpose, go for growing something. And I always used to think when I was younger, I was like, it must be so easy to say that. It must be so nice to say that. But then you're running around in your Ferrari and doing this and that. And now that I've reached a higher stage than I was, for me, I truly get it. And I wish I could like share that feeling properly with the audience that maybe don't understand it of when you bought that watch, when I bought this watch, okay, it's a happy moment. But when you go to sleep and wake up the next day and you look at it, it's already a little bit less. And then 1 month later, you forget and you don't care about it. But when I look at something that I'm building, for example, this podcast, just seeing the views, seeing the growth, seeing the guests that I'm getting, all of this, that's so sick.
But
so much more sick that it doesn't feel like work, and that's passionable, enjoyable, and I can see exactly what you're trying to say. When you grow, you want to grow something real and have progress and
to feel proud. I think the main difference is to feel proud and to feel happy. Also, when you smoke weed, you are happy in that moment.
Yep.
Are you proud? No. When I bought this watch, when you bought that one, you were proud. When you built the show, we were proud. And proud is based on discipline, habits, and solid achievements. Happy in and of itself, you can be happy getting drugs. You can be happy doing the wrong things in your life. And that's when my point came in. And also, I don't understand why people want a happy journey. I don't understand. Every single success story has a lot of pain behind it. And if you want to grow your body, of course it's going to hurt. It's like thinking that you're going to go to the gym and you're going to get the muscle without getting the pain that comes with it. So, but when you somehow extrapolate that into the entrepreneurship life, people doesn't understand it. They understand that, of course, you're going to have sore muscles, you're going to get tired after gym, and that's part of the journey. But once in the entrepreneurship journey, they face their own their first adversity, it seems like it's not it's a bad thing that they're doing. And of course not. It's just part of the journey.